So perhaps a question in all of your minds today is what next? What is this disruption? What is 2020 and then 2021 foretell for all of us? Like I said, I had I had to let go of 60 people, and I believe myself not to be an employer, but I believe myself as somebody who's looking after the families of 100 people. I worked for them. I worked all my life for my colleagues. I think John will vouch for that. I always led from the front. I never led from the back. Um, and when I had to let go of 60 people last year, my heart melted. But the choice was to either shut down the business or let the 60 go, take a step back, try and rebuild from the mess that COVID had created, and and then be still responsible for another 30, 40 families who are dependent on me. So that was me. And this is perhaps the same for all of you. Maybe your parents have had to shut the businesses down, or brothers, sisters, uncles, and aunts. Maybe you lost loved ones to this disease. So every one of us has faced a crisis in one way or the other. So, so I am going to assume that the 32 of you, did you say 32 or 34, John? Uh, the
Right
34.
now, 41 are, yeah.
Okay. So the 41 of you uh, perhaps have this question in mind. Yes, I'm doing this diploma program. I'm doing this 1 year program. What next? Can Jayshree and John get me a placement? Or will there be enough opportunity for me, to go and to get employment and put three square meals into my tummy, or look after my family? So we are at crossroads. There is no denying it. We were in a very stringent lockdown. Um, I have beef with my prime minister for this, for easing the lockdown as fast as he has. But I guess he has his own political and commercial considerations. That's because our Janta do not practice safe, COVID norms. They don't wear a mask. Those of you who watched TV yesterday, you saw 500 people at some waterfalls somewhere without masks, absolutely throwing caution to the winds. So this Tamil Nadu continues. Our respected chief minister has eased some protocols, but I can tell you, the minute we misbehave, this country will clamp down hard again. So it's in our hands to ease that lockdown. We need to make sure that businesses are back. And I say businesses, I don't mean the Ambanis and Birlas and the Tatas. I mean the medium, small enterprises, um, logistics companies, companies that drive the commerce. Without us, I've written to the Honorable Minister of Shipping 20 times. I've written to the Prime Minister of India, and I got an acknowledgement from him that without the stevedores, our economy would have shut down. Our ships continued to work non-stop every single day of last year and this year. Not one ship was delayed because the stevedore did not board the ship and did not complete his work. And containers, if you think containers is the only answer, containers just 12% of India's traffic. The balance, 88%, was liquid, bulk, and break bulk ships, which required people of my ilk to go out and work those ships. So this is something that you must remember. We never gave up. We kept at it. We kept servicing our business. So it's our hope that government will see the travails, the problems that our industry has. We have many issues. It's only the government who can give us our relief. So we've applied. When I say we, I mean as the waterfront workers, we've applied. So if you think that the world has stopped, think again. This is the latest numbers by UNCTAD. Okay? We're still doing 19 billion dollars of business exports. Okay? Yes, there is a contraction. The annual growth rate, as you can see in the third column, there is a contraction, but it's a very, very, very small contraction. Okay? So for somebody like me, whose business depends on um, ports being built, that's what I do, portman, or infrastructure being built, and in my other business, which is ships coming into Indian ports, I am very confident that this contraction is something in the past. Now, I've actually read up the UNCTAD statistics for the first quarter of 2020, and I can tell you with a lot of confidence that this contraction has corrected itself. I'm not saying there is a great positive growth, but the negative trend has stopped, and there is a positive growth in world trade, and which means that the business of logistics, okay, will have to support this huge quantity of trade that is being transacted between countries. Okay, that's $19 billion, 119 billion dollars worth of foreign trade, which is 19,000 billion. My apologies, which is a staggering amount of cargo. If you convert that into tons, it's huge. 90% of that cargo is seaborne. 10% is just between air and land. So the business of logistics, Nihal, you can rest assured, even if there's a third wave, that's going to be a temporary halt. People like you, if you have demonstrated adequate learning capabilities, if you have demonstrated that you are employable. The biggest issue, Jayashree and John, that we face is when we hire engineers, we find 90% of them are unemployable. They may have a BE degree, but they are unemployable. So the key factor for you, Nihal, is not to worry whether you'll have a job. It's for you to worry whether you are employable, whether you're demonstrating to a potential employer that you have enough skill sets. You don't need knowledge. You're not expected to have knowledge. You're expected to demonstrate skill sets that will allow people like me to train you, to teach you, to show you the way to do what I want you to do or what the company wants you to do. And that is what we're going to be looking for. So for those of you like Nihal who had,
Ishwar, over the
yeah,
skills, Ishwar, one more point we always keep part of our thing, attitude
mm,
towards service industry. We say skill, then you must have attitude, and we have a 10-hour OBA paper. We call it Organization Behavior and Attitude,
mm,
where you will, the first slide you showed, like, why should we worried about sorry and we're not happy about joy? So we always say challenges are going to be there, but how you cope up. So attitude towards,
yes.
uh, yeah, so that is also
So
being
attitude is something, John,
taught.
that we pick up in their body language when they come to us. Okay,
Yeah.
so we see that when we talk to people. So Jayeshi, what you should do is send these guys to a back office of a hotel. Ask them to work with those people who go out into the restaurant to serve people, to
Okay.
understand the meaning of service. They have to serve
Service.
that person even if he doesn't like him, even if he's rude, even if he's obnoxious. Okay. In our service business, in our industry, it's like that. I meet idiots day in and day out. Okay. But I cannot tell them they're an idiot. I have to handle them because they're a client. They're going to pay me the money if I want to do the job. But there's a way of handling them. There's a way of dealing with them. That's something, as you said, John, that's something that will be developed and brought along. Right. So all of this international trade revolves around these cargoes. Now, cement, rice, rubber, oil, ore, coal, grain, steel, you name that commodity and it's moving. Okay. COVID or no COVID, it is still moving. You may think that people don't have jobs and not buying cars. Do you know the luxury car makers have sold the highest number of cars last month? And you know, Hyundai is still producing 3 shifts a day in Chennai, in Sriperumbudur. I know this because the ships that I handle are the ones that carry the steel for them. So there is a contraction, but there is no stoppage. Okay? The picture on the top is actually the latest radar plot of the ships at sea right now carrying cargo for us. Okay. If there's no trade happening, young ladies and gentlemen, you'll have no dots on that screen. You'll have ships parked in clusters, anchored at the ports. The picture at the bottom is again is a kind of a play on the routes, but this should tell you and give you confidence that global trade continues. Global trade is robust, perhaps not robust as it was in 2018, but it will get back to its original status and grow even further as the form of demand, and as we will see that later, as the demand increases. So the ships are at sea, they're working for us, and I didn't bother to put the aircraft because it's less than 10% of global trade. I didn't bother to put the land routes, which because it's compressed in those 10%. So it's mostly the ships that are still at sea working for us.